Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and this is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hi, hello everybody, how are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well. I posted a video last night, and then I think it was shortly after the video I posted, there came out to be like reports of people saying that the YouTube channel Salty Krab has been terminated from YouTube. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Salty Krab, they have really, I think, for me personally, when I started noticing them, and when I feel like they started making an impact on Girl World, was when Amberlynn started doing the like members only live streams, and Salty Krab was a member from what I can tell, and was recapping all of those live streams for the people who were watching. She got some threats back then from Amberlynn that Amberlynn was going to come for her for reusing her content. In fact, actually, quite honestly, if I recall correctly, there was a moment where Amberlynn had reached out to me and said that I couldn't use her clips from her members only content. And she also posted publicly, like on her Instagram stories, that she wanted Salty Krab to reach out to her or something. I think honestly that's mostly because Salty Krab doesn't really use a lot of other social media. She does have other social media accounts, but I mean, even as of today, I was looking around to see if she had said anything about what happened to her channel. And it doesn't seem like she's posted anything, talking about what's going on with her channel or it being terminated. But that's basically my knowledge and history of Salty Krab. I don't know her personally. I haven't really interacted with her outside of like I've watched some of her recaps and stuff like that. And what I will say is that when I saw this news, I was like, this is weird. This is weirdly, because everywhere that I saw people talking about it, whether it was in Discord, Twitter, whoever, whatever, I did watch a couple of other content creators make videos about it and stuff like that. Everywhere I saw was like speculating that the reason that she got terminated was because of stuff that people like Boogie or people from the LCU said in these live streams that Salty Krab was recapping for her audience. Understandably, I think people who like Salty Krab and like reaction channels and things like that were very upset about this, because also I think we've all, in our little introduction to the lolcow universe, have all been aware and have seen just like how over the top and awful some of the things that the lolcow universe people say on that platform. And it is interesting that they can say and do all of these awful things and their channels continue to exist, but somebody who is commenting and providing, I don't know, this is going to be redundant, but commentary about those awful things is punished for including those clips. I think for me that is really frustrating, right? Like, if somebody can do those bad things, then certainly I think we should be able to provide commentary. What is also interesting to me is it's not lost on me that Girl World in particular has been hit a lot lately between demonetization and or termination. I think we all are aware that Amberlynn Reed, Chantal Marie, Quirky Love Rosie all had their channels demonetized for content related to self-harm. They didn't lose their channel. They didn't. You okay, bud? You're right. They didn't lose their channels by any means. But certainly they're no longer allowed to monetize it until they get a chance to remonetize it. And I remember when those things happened that the three of them actually, to different extents, all made arguments that, like, how is it fair that people can comment on our bad behavior and not get punished for it? Well, I do think that there is a difference there, right? Like, I think doing the bad behavior should be the part that is the problem. I think providing commentary on those things should not necessarily be a problem unless we're outlawing it all altogether on the platform. I do think that there are some ways that, like, we as creators can protect ourselves from that. Certainly, I feel like I was looking for this too, and maybe it was just like a community tab post, and that's why I can't find it anymore since Salty Krab's channel is terminated. But I do feel like she had already had some level of like issues with getting strikes for stuff that people from the LCU had said, and so it's curious to me like what changes she chose to make or not make because of that. I don't know really truly what her plans and changing her content up from there were, but some things that I would think and imagine that we could all do to protect ourselves if this is content we truly want to cover, which, to be honest, like, I am in and out of the lolcow stuff. Like, I'm not gonna be a person who's out here covering every single little thing that happens, but I think, as you can tell by now, since Amberlynn's been in the LCU, I have hopped in from time to time to get my thoughts and opinions and feelings about certain subjects. So anyways, all of that to say, there is also an option. I always try my best to like be as upfront as possible with YouTube when I'm going through the process of uploading my video. When you allow for your video to be monetized on the platform, there's one section of the upload form where you have to like turn on monetization, and then the next section of it, it asks you to submit a rating for your content, to be honest about like what's in it. I usually always click the one about like cussing and cursing, because I think y'all know I've got a little bit of a potty mouth. And usually I will click, there's one that's like about like adult romance situation types of deals, and I feel like a lot of times that comes up in my videos, so a lot of times I'll click that. And now, one of the ones that I always consider clicking is at the very bottom. Actually, there's two. I should just pull this up so I could, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that while I'm sitting here recording. There's actually two that I always think about, like, what did I talk about in this video, and does that apply to either of these? One of them is a section about derogatory and hateful language. That might not be the exact name of it, but that's like the general content that's under that. And I always, if I'm like covering, let's say I did recently talk about like the awful things Boogie said in a live stream in front of Amberlynn, right? So I clicked that I would be discussing derogatory language in a non-hateful way. Like, I think it talks about, like, education. And I don't know, I think, like, informing people that what Boogie has to say sometimes on that channel is hateful is education. And then there's another one that talks about, I think, controversial or sensitive issues. And I use that one a lot whenever there is a discussion about like domestic violence, sexual assault, whoever, whatever, to make sure that I'm being upfront. Like, I'm not trying to hide this from YouTube. I'm having a conversation about this, why it's problematic, whoever, whatever. So I think I can't say if Salty Krab was using those things or not. Who knows? I don't know if there was some kind of mass reporting situation type of deal, or if it was like the AI algorithm bots, whoever, whatever. But those are just my suggestions for any other creators. Again, not an expert. Like, my channel could just as easily be gone tomorrow. And I would be also asking a lot of questions, you know? Like, it is really irritating seeing the just like downright hateful ass shit that people in the lolcow universe say and get away with, that all of those channels are still up and standing there, and people who are simply commentating on it are getting demonetized or terminated. And also, that's like the name of the game, unfortunately. Like, I don't love that YouTube has these unclear thoughts and rules and things like that. Or maybe not unclear rules, because I think they do have rules outlined, but unclear enforcement of those rules, right? Like, I think at this point, between the three girls, FFG, and now Salty Krab, I think it's think it's clear that like YouTube isn't great about its enforcement. It seems rather selective. And so I do think that there are questionable issues with that. Now, interestingly, I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there who's like, well, Zach, why don't you have the same energy for Salty Krab that you had for FFG? Because, ooh, I really got the FFG fans and stans and chinions real upset by standing up in this room, doing a little dance, doing a little hee ha ha. And I'm here to tell you what the difference is in the event that anybody asks. So the difference is that I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to Salty Krab. As far as I know, she's not problematic. And as far as I know, she hasn't like personally done and or said really awful things about me. Recently we had a conversation about like if Zach was biased, or like somebody commented and said that I was biased. Well, yes, this is my channel where I share my opinion. And certainly things that have impacted me in my life, my personal life, my channel, etc., are going to shape the way that I feel about things. So when I was dancing because FFG lost her channel, baby, that's called being excited about a bad thing happening to a bad person. Okay? That's what that is. I don't have any strong feelings about Salty Krab either way. Like I said, I've used her to like get caught up on things whenever I had no fucking clue what was going on with Amberlynn. So I don't have any ill will towards her. Maybe somebody will come out in the comments and be like, well, Salty Krab did this, and this, and then, maybe I'll have to reconsider that with the new information. But one thing Salty Krab ain't never done, as far as I know, is accused me of neglecting my dog. As far as I know, Salty Krab's never accused me of abusing my ex. And yeah, for that alone, she's already in a better spot. Already. And then if you take into account that, she's never seemingly lied about a cat, when it seems like she's never, touched the poo, involved herself in Chantal or Amberlynn's life. All of those things make me not feel strongly about Salty Krab in the way that I do about FFG. So yeah, it does, and since I'm on the topic, I feel like this is turning into a little bit of me just rambling, but since we're on the topic, I got a comment this morning that was like, since when did you start talking about reactors? You've changed. You've changed, Zachary Marie. And that was on my video from yesterday where I did, in fact, talk about Rachel Reacts, who, infamously has touched the poo a lot. There's lots of reasons why I take issue with her flirting with Tommy, her admitting to flirting with Tommy, her offering to pay Tommy for tea. All of the things she did with Tommy make any of the information you get from Tommy, null and void in my opinion, because like she herself in the video, I shared a clip yesterday where she was like, this shows you can't trust Emily. Now I think she was trying to say, Amberlynn, this shows you can't trust Emily, but what it's really saying is you can't trust Emily, you can't trust Rachel, you can't trust Amberlynn. Because they've all muddied the waters here. But that's besides the point. The point I was trying to bring up was the part where I talked about, since when did you start covering reactors? Well, as noted, that wasn't even the first time I've talked about Rachel on my channel. And, I have historically talked about people like FFG and things like that. And my response when it comes to things like, why do you talk about reactors? Why do you talk about other reactors? How could you do that? Well, when other reactors involve themselves in Chantal or Amberlynn or even Rosie's life and make it a point to influence things happening in their lives by DMing their partners, by taking their cats, by all kinds of stuff like that, then how am I supposed to not talk about them when inevitably, when inevitably the people I cover on this channel, like Amberlynn Reid and Chantal, talk about them, right? You know, if you don't want your favorites to be talked about by other reactors, the best way to have reactors not talk about them is to probably not do that stuff. Because have I extensively, outside of, you know, discussing this today of Salty Krab getting her channel demonetized, have I talked about Salty Krab in an instance where she wasn't already being brought up by Amberlynn at some point? I don't think so. And actually, there's lots of reactors that, like, I don't even know or haven't talked about because none of them have done a lot of that foolishness, you know? Does that make sense? Does that resonate with you all? I don't know. That's just where I'm at with that. If you do weirdly things that put you in a place where Amberlynn Reid is raging about her girlfriend because of an email you sent to her girlfriend, then yeah, I'm gonna talk about you. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I guess I don't have to talk about you. I guess there could be an argument of like, well, you don't have to, but then it's like, how do you explain the nonsense that Amberlynn Reid is going through? Like, how do you explain her yelling, I don't want to talk about it, in a live stream? So yeah, if you don't want me to talk about Rachel, tell Rachel to stop interfering in Emily and Amberlynn's life like that. It's real easy. But, you know, I'm not having a celebration about Salty Krab getting terminated because I don't feel that strongly about Salty Krab. And also, to be quite honest, like, if it is the case that she's being held accountable for using clips of, like, Boogie, for instance, then I feel like we need to hold that same kind of accountability and pressure to YouTube when it comes to, like, Keemstar's whole fucking agenda over in the lolcow universe, because anything that she might have shown about Boogie or Tina or whoever, whatever, is just like a small specimen of the nonsense that happens in the Keemstar lolcow universe. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, have I rambled long enough about this? It is a shorter video today because I figured people would probably want my thoughts or potentially even just be wondering where Salty Krab's channel went. And I'm happy to help. She hasn't, as far as I know, made an official statement. I've seen some stuff that maybe she has shared some things behind the scenes with folks, but I would say just be on the lookout. She does have a Twitter account. I looked it up this morning. Let me get it again for you. I think it's just at Salty Krab YT. But like I said, she hasn't posted anything on that Twitter account since May of 2024. So it's been a while since she's posted there, and I think she might have an Instagram too, but I don't think she posts there maybe at all. But I think that's where Amberlynn was trying to reach out to her back in the day. Salty Krab YouTube? Maybe I should... Yeah, it's the same exact account. But she has 0 posts on there. So I don't know where she'll make an announcement if she does, but I would say absolutely just keep an eye out. I'm sure someone somewhere will be able to share that information with you whenever she's ready to share it. I hope for her sake that she gets it back. Honestly, she seems to me, from the stuff that I've watched, it seems like she really has always just been focused on providing recaps sprinkled in with some of her own thoughts and things like that about what's happening in Amberlynn's life. I've never seen her, in comparison to some people in this corner of the internet, I've never seen her do anything crazy, but again, maybe there's stuff out there I don't know. Okay, I am gonna stop yapping now. I am gonna shut the fuck up, but thanks so much for hanging out with me just briefly today. I appreciate it. I'll be back again soon with some other content, but thanks so much for watching. If you're brand new, make sure to subscribe down below, hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!